Alright, why is Doran on my windowsill? Hello everyone and welcome back to another video of mine. This time I'm back with Kali, Flame of Samsara, Season 2, Episode 2. We were brought back from the dead. I saw some strange comments in my comment section, and to be quite honest, from one side I was kind of offended because of all the Ram slander, but on the other side, I do understand why a lot of people may disagree with this man's methods. But like I said, I love every single opinion that is being brought in my comment section, because I just love how different we are, yet our pure hearts are the reason why we all came together in this video. So thank you all for just being there and for waiting patiently and excitedly for my new videos. It actually means so much to me. I'm always very emotional when I go on my comment section and see that so many people are waiting so desperately for my reaction to it after they read the story already the first day that it came out, and I don't have the time to record and also immediately cut the videos. So I actually think I'm not being grateful enough that you all are here to support me and to love me. Thank you so much. And I had this huge ass conversation with Drea in my comment section. It's real love now between the both of us. Honestly though, I love her input. And I actually think there are some things that, because sometimes when we are that taken aback by a character, we sometimes don't see their flaws, or we're trying to cover them up and feel defensive when someone is talking badly about them. But like I said, I'm open and I appreciate every single opinion. And to a specific degree, I think she was right about what she said about Ram. Technically, if he was that close to the Dark Mother, he should have known that she wasn't gonna let Devya live. But on the other side, I also said it to her in the comment section. Human beings are capable to do very, very bad things. They're willing to go to extremes in order to protect the people they love. And that's something that the both of us agreed on. Because I'm a Ram lover, I, of course, can't do anything but to be he did what he could. He didn't want us to have to suffer that fate. But on the other side, I agree with Drea, considering the fact that he's also older than us. He probably also saw more atrocities happening, or he heard about the atrocities that the Dark Mother was willing to commit in order for her to have what she wanted. So he should have known that she wasn't gonna let us live peacefully, but he wanted to believe that there was a way out for us. And like I said, sometimes we're willing to do desperate things in order to protect the people we love. And he loved us back in the day already, and he didn't want us to die. So he thought perhaps he could strike a deal with the Dark Mother, but she was like, no, it has to be us. So she killed or allowed our brother and Rati to be killed, and we had to die either way. So this is something I thought was so tragic in general. I think I just needed to point it in here. And I had it with Drea again. In my comment section, she was like, I agree with you. Our brother and Rati should have been resurrected as well. But no, apparently the Dark Mother was like, this is on side. They are not being resurrected. This was karma. Damn. But yeah, let's see. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Y'all, my motto. Oh, wow. Episode 2, Awakening. Now, Doran Bazoo, why are you on my windowsill? Mr. Bazoo? What are you doing here? He set the book aside on the nearest table. Do you know where he is? Where are you, Devya? And why? You asking me? Devya looked around the room thoughtfully and with a slight uneasiness. She was trying to focus, but her whole body ached, and fragments of memories, dreams, visions were floating in her consciousness. What was that? So where am I? I won't torment you. You're in Hertfordshire, precious miss. Doran paused to enjoy Davy's reaction. Her eyes opened wider than before. Where? Hertfordshire? England? The governor's house? Doran nodded slowly. Insisted on bringing you here, claiming he would find you the best doctors, and we agreed, of course. So far from home? And what are you doing here? She pulled the blanket up higher, embarrassed. I'm enjoying this unexpected journey as much as everyone else who came with you. I don't understand anything. Me, though. Devi mumbled to herself. Her mind still couldn't piece together the chain of events, and she needed Doran to explain. So let's start from the beginning. Tell me, how was I say? Do you actually want to know? Blood sacrifice. Blood sacrifice. How was I say? I can't. More specifically, how did I come back to life? I died, Mr. Bazoo. I know that for sure. Doran sighed. Oh, that'd make a long story short. After the attack was over, DOOBAY came and said that you had to be taken to the Kaligat urgently. I don't know what happened there. I wasn't present. Only Ram, Saraswati and Rash were there. When they brought you out of the temple, you were already showing basic signs of life again. How did the attack end? Was anyone gravely injured? Mr. Diggs, Mr. Mahayan, and Miss Sharma. Don't you remember? Do you enjoy teasing me so much? A little. To be quite honest, I would be like Devi right now. Like Sun, show a bit of compassion. Of course, it's like the bickering, but in my eyes, I need to be capable to sense out the energy. If the person in front of me is like in their most vulnerable moments, they're freaking out, they don't know what happened, they don't know where they are, like they're in their weakest minds and I'm making jokes, like that's a no. This is where I have to bring this in again. Like the time in season 1 where our friend couldn't keep her mouth shut and she started to talk shit about the Dark Mother in like a holy place that was dedicated to the goddess Kali. I was like, time and place. Time and place, bitch. Like, she didn't listen and that's what her ass got. She got scolded by her mother. And this is the same time here. Doran, no time and place. We're not amused. In all seriousness, the majority of the most important members of the Dozen survived. Meanwhile, during all this time, I managed to make some inquiries about those who instigated the attack. Will you share? Of course not. First I need to figure it out myself, then I'll start chopping heads. Me. Let me help, bitch. I love the fact that he's so protective over us, though. He's like, after I found out everything in vivid detail, I'm gonna start killing people. Too bad it's only figuratively for now. In general, the class people suppressed the unrest harshly, without distinguishing between who was right or wrong. As for the Dozen, the Golden Duo has started to lose their shine. Vidya and Rush finally had a proper falling out. And just a week ago, I received a letter from my sister stating that other members of the Dozen also want a change in leadership. Oh my god! I can't! So technically, Rush and Vidya fucked up so badly during the time we were out that the members of the other Dozen are like, Doran, you take charge. Damn! Bengal seems to be descending into chaos. Doran spoke about that lazily and cheerfully as if it didn't concern him at all. I don't think he cares. How did you end up here? Who else came? I still can't understand how you convinced the British to take a whole group of chaperones from India. And more importantly, what was the reason given behind that need? Oh, that was amusing. Kamal and Vidya strongly opposed letting you go alone because you're still not married to the Lord. And you, precious miss, aren't an ordinary person either. Sending you alone to the enemy's camp. Never. Y'all, Is it bad that I feel turned on by the fact that this man feels so protective over us? Because this is kind of showing protection. Because he's like, you precious miss, there is no way I could ever let you go alone. Thank you, babe. Thank you, sweetheart. So it was agreed that you would have your own direction. Huh? Kamala's a guardian Saraswati is your closest friend, so you wouldn't get bored here when you woke up. Okay. Better. You better. I was about to say my man did not come. I'm about to chop some heads. Raman added the spiritual mentors and Ara deny as sort of gods. Arat! My baby. My sweetheart. Y'all, I see Arat as a friend. I don't see him as my slave. My child. And what about Amrid? What about my child? We didn't forget about your striped friend either. Doran reading my mind, y'all. He's my soulmate too. Shit. But of course, that is all a pretense. You know that. By the way, your uncle was extremely happy to see us go. Interesting. Thank you for answering. Yeah, of course, this bitch would be happy that I'm out of the way. This little motherfucking bitch. Y'all. He's the first one on the chopping block. I'm feeling well. He's so worried. Y'all, I love this. Like, I think I said it already, but I feel like I need to say it again. A lot of people show a different face when you first meet them. A lot of people have been through an awful lot, so they're more like closed off. They like to blend out their pain by being silent or by adding in like humor. And then there are people that carry their heart so much on their sleeve, they immediately show what's on the inside. There are different facades in people. And there are people that can deal with pain differently. So there are also people that can't hide the pain and they immediately show it. And then there are people that actually try to cover up their psychological pain by doing whatever it takes. And that's when you think that they're emotionless. That's why you think that they don't have humanity left in them. That's why you don't see any positive side at first, because they're like using their entire energy to cover up the fact how psychologically unstable or psychologically hurt they are. And that's literally taking away their strength to behave as they did before they got psychologically unstable, as in so psychologically hurt that they need to use their entire strength to cover up the fact that they are dying on the inside. But in my eyes, when you have pure intentions and you show that you have pure intentions, like for that, you need to be capable to read between the lines, of course. But if you see that someone has pure intentions, no matter how they show that they want to protect you or that they care about you, they deserve to be loved. They deserve to be heard. They deserve to be viewed as a good person. Like, not everyone will immediately show what they have on the inside. Not everyone is capable to do that. A lot of people will behave like little bitches. A lot of people will yell at you. But yelling at you is how they show that they truly care. And yelling, I don't mean that they keep on like just screaming at you for no reason. But if someone gets agitated, if someone gets upset when you do something that they themselves experienced and they got hurt because of that experience so much, and they yell at you because you don't want to understand that you could get hurt, that's them showing that they truly care. They don't want you to go through the same thing or through the same pain that they had to endure when they went through that horrible moment, and they want to save you from having to suffer because of that very same problem. So that's when they get upset, when you don't show any signs that you're willing to like give in and to be like, okay, you know what? I understand. I'm not doing that anymore. They get upset because they truly love you. If someone wouldn't love you, they wouldn't get upset. If someone truly gets upset when you do something that they feel scared with, or if you do something that could actually get you hurt and someone doesn't say anything, then that means that they don't love you. A lot of people show that they care in different ways. A lot of people are more straightforward. They immediately say, yeah, listen up, I'm worried about you. And those are the people that carry like their heart on their sleeves. And then there are like closed off people that can't really show that they truly love you anymore. They can't say it out loud, and they show it when they like yell at you, when you are like not listening to reason. Like, there are very different types of people. And Doran is the kind of person that is actually being impulsive when someone hurts someone that he loves. Like, just to point this out real quick. Are you feeling well? I probably should have called the doctor right away instead of chatting with you. Oh, Doran. Oh, come on. You know doctors can't help me. I feel quite well, but my muscles are a bit sore. Of course, you were bedridden for almost 3.5 weeks. That long? A pause hung in the room. Doran, sitting relaxedly in his chair, didn't seem at all bothered by it, and he looked straight at Devi, his gaze piercing and honest. Devi Sharma had risen from the dead and finally awakened. Mr. Basu was extremely pleased to be the first to witness that moment, savoring every second of it. I fucking love Doran. I hate this, y'all. I'm gonna be playing. I know I'm gonna be playing. And a lot of people already told me that all these men are gonna whoop my ass, but what can I do? They're all very tempting, and I'm not someone that is capable to resist temptation. The woman averted her gaze. Slightly embarrassed, she lay under the blanket in her nightgown and had not yet come to terms with the fact that she had died, let alone the fact that she had come back to life. Doran noticed her confusion and came to his senses. I guess I should go, huh? There wasn't a shred of guilt in his voice. It was unlikely that Mr. Basu would even try to pretend there was. He got up from his seat and slowly walked toward the door. No, son, you can stay. Yeah, wait. You can stay? It's fine. It's fine. Devi called out to him, surprising herself. Then she added, embarrassed. Stay a little longer, Mr. Basu. Doran looked over his shoulder, already almost touching the door handle with his fingers. I'm surprised. Do you enjoy my company that much? Son, don't tease me. Don't tease me with a good time. I thought I had bored you already. You could never bore me. Y'all, the simping begins. Shit. Not yet. Please sit down. Y'all, I'm about to start war between the two families. Like, Doran is Vidya's younger brother. And Ram is Raj's younger brother. I'm playing so hard. I hate it. The man turned around and returned to his chair with a satisfied smile. He propped his fist against his temple and said hoarsely, keeping his laughing eyes on her, Well, Miss Sharma, speak up if you so desired. David looked down, unable to withstand Mr. Bazu's tone. Her gaze started to the book resting on the table. She nodded at it and said, You like reading? How many times have I caught you with a book now? Twice? Doran raised his thick black eyebrows in astonishment. Why are you so surprised by that? Do you think I only know how to swing a weapon? Let's just say it like this. If I don't see a different facade to you, it's very easy for me to judge. Because all human beings are very judgy. So if we don't see a different facade to you, we judge you based on what we know and what we see. And we never saw you with a book. So, yes. Davy suddenly realized how silly and mocking her question sounded. I apologize, I didn't mean it that way. Doran just smirked. What? Do I really give off the impression of a mindless killer? At first glance, kind of. But considering the conversations we had with this man, he actually has his shit together. He's very calm, he's collective, he is thoughtful, he is caring. He just shows it in a very, I can't really say harsh way, but he shows his affection in a cold and detached manner, but still in a way, he's using his words as well. He just can't really mix them with emotion. That's why it sounds very cold when he shows you affection. His words show still, even though he's acting in a detached and cold manner, They show that he truly cares. They show that he has a pure heart. So no, you don't. Well, my reputation works against me. I can't but Doran, y'all. I'm feeling clicked. He continued to tease her with his irony, enjoying her discomfort, and Davy hurried to change the subject. Bitch, you wanted him to stay? Well, let's just say differently. I wanted him to stay, so deal with it. No, not at all. What were you reading, Mr. Bazoo? I'm genuinely curious. Doran pursed his lips, took the book, and turned it, showing the cover to Davy. She read the evenly printed English title. Macbeth. Your little groom has a decent library. I decided to go through the classics. Shakespeare in the original? Seriously? I thought you hated the British and everything about them. Every place has something to be desired. That's why I want to travel around the world. Doran threw his head back in expiration and laughed hollowly. And here we go again with the prejudice. Maybe I even eat British children for breakfast. Sonny! You're not entirely wrong, of course, but my opinion doesn't extend to culture. Period. I feel that one. But in general, in my eyes, in every land, there are bitches, okay? Every single land has bitches, and every single land has people that are so pure-hearted, you wish that you could take them home with you, you know? Because it's so strange and so rare to actually find pure-hearted people. So when you actually do, you actually think it's so cute to just like see that, in my opinion, if you ask me, I think pure-hearted people are like an extinct race. We're an extinct race because we actually kind of, considering the fact that it's so rare to be pure-hearted nowadays, it's actually kind of the people that are pure-hearted make part of an extinct race. And the second you meet someone, you immediately want to take them home because they're special. They're that special. Every nation has its unique culture, and there is a charm in that. Doran making me fall for him, take 2. I don't want to limit myself when it comes to quality literature, no matter who writes it. He took the book and quickly flipped through it from the first page to the end, then snapped it shut and set it aside. Y'all. I'm feeling things. I'm feeling things for this man. Me too, sir. It's a cautionary tale about betrayal and the destructive power of ambition. The main character was a nobleman, loyal to his ruler, and then he turned into a bloody usurper. And of course he met an unfortunate end. Devi immediately thought of the dozen. How could she not? Themes of betrayal and power struggles closely intertwined with it in recent years. After thinking for a moment, she asked, Do you think he deserved his end, the main character? Doran responded without hesitation. Absolutely. I'm surprised you asked. Then both of them fell silent, lost in their own thoughts. After some time, Davy said, Thank you for talking to me. You're welcome. Now I suppose it's really time for me to go. I'll send a maid and tell you the Galatian the good news that Miss Sharma is awake. Thank you. You got to know Doran better. Your relationship has improved, thank you. Doran had already reached the door when he stopped. Without turning around, he said, There wasn't a fight. There was a dance. You exceeded all expectations. Oh, yeah? Y'all, not me grinning over this. I hate it. Y'all, he winning me over. Shit. The man left, closing the door behind him quietly. Soon a woman appeared in the room with an armful of dresses. Oh God. She entered the bedroom and gave Davy a light bow. She spoke in English, which Davy immediately switched to. Miss Sharma. Good afternoon. The maid laid the dresses out on the bed. She didn't ask unnecessary questions about her health and just did her job. But she couldn't help but glance at the guest with curiosity. After all, she had been unconscious for over 3 weeks, and she was the Lord's bride from distant India. These don't look like my clothes. Your wardrobe isn't here yet. Debbie picked up each dress, feeling the fabric. They should be the right size. They look nice. Well, it's never too late to try something new. What about a corset? Oh, no, miss. These are tea gowns, the kind British women wear to see their loved ones when they are relaxing at home. You don't wear a corset under them, so you can dress yourself. Unlike dresses for more public occasions. But for those, we will need your exact measurements. I will take them and pass them on to the seamstress. I see. Thank you for the explanation. Oh, okay. I would have to go with Rose. Even though none of them really fit my taste, but I have the feeling I'm much more of the woman that likes the corsets because of the Disney movies, you know. This dress needs a matching hairstyle. Of course it does. Oh, wow, okay. Audacity? Y'all, I can't. Those names. No. I would have to go with this one, right? Beautiful. Devi twirled around. Although the dress was light and quite comfortable, something fell off. Maybe the novelty of the style? I've never worn anything like this. It's very unusual. I thought you might say that. If you'd like to, I can borrow a sari from Miss Bazoo's wardrobe and later we can sew some more. If it's possible. Never mind. No. Like, y'all, I think we need to add this as well. Or more like, I need to add this. In my eyes, if I want to travel, I need to accept that there will be parts of a land where they won't have the same clothes to wear. I need to accept that. So, if I'm in a different land, it has a different culture, it has different rules, it has different norms. Everything is different than from the land that I come from. I need to accept that there will be different ways to dress, there will be different rules to behave, everything. And I need to accept that when I step my foot outside of my own land. So, when they actually are that kind and respectful that they allow you to get dressed, you don't say no when they give you something of their own. It's actually an honor to could be wearing this. Because technically, I'm a foreigner. I'm a stranger to the land. So, me actually wearing something of their own should be an honor. Because technically, at least that's how I see it, technically I don't have a right to ask them to give me something of their own. Because I'm not their people. I'm not from their lands. So technically, I don't have the right to wear something of theirs. And this maid actually was that cute. She actually said, if you don't feel comfortable wearing this, I could go and ask Mrs. Bazoo to send us your measurements so that we can sew saris for you. No, baby, we're in your lands, and being part of and being someone that actually respects every single culture and every single human being, I am honored that you allowed me to wear such a beautiful gown. I'm not asking you to sew something from my culture. I'm not in my land anymore. Let me feel the blessing of being allowed to wear something that only your people get to wear. No, I'll wear this, thank you. It suits you and fits you well. She's so talkative. Although Doran told me a bit about what happened, it was rather confusing. I could call for someone else. Thank you. I'm sorry, what's your name? Lydia, miss. Lydia, please tell me, Mr. DOOBAY, that I'm waiting for him. The maid's eyes widened for a second. Then, as if nothing had happened, she nodded and left the room. Davy waited for Ram in anxious anticipation. It was because of the feelings that overwhelmed her whenever she started thinking about him and about what happened between them on that fateful day. If I believe Doran, Ram felt something at the moment of my death. Her body is still as strong as before, maybe even stronger. She heard muffled, hurried footsteps behind the door. This man is zooming. Dev immediately stood up and straightened her posture, nervously fiddling with the fabric of her skirt. Y'all, if it's Christian, I feel so bad. Okay, the door opened slowly and Ram appeared on the threshold. Damn, he must be completely shocked. Davy's heart was pounding wildly. Without taking his eyes off her, he closed the door behind him slowly and said, "Welcome back." I hate it, y'all. I'm a wimp. I'm a simp. Oh, those men are actually killing me. I feel no regrets. You know what? We need to appreciate every single human being. Let me appreciate all of these fine-ass men close in person, okay? Intimately. Devi immediately rushed into his arms. Ram grabbed her, hugged her tightly, and slightly lifted her off the floor, spinning her in the air. So many emotions were in that embrace. Placing Devi back down, Ram leaned in, gave her a lingering kiss on her lips, and then pulled away gently. She sat quietly, biting her lower lip. It was worth coming back for that. Ram smirked. "Don't anger the goddess with such words." "You're wearing a sherwani. It's a look I'm no longer used to seeing you in." "There is no need to wear ritual attire here, so I had to dress up a bit. You better get used to it again. And you." Ram raised his eyebrow in amazement, examining her dress. "I've never seen you in anything like this before." Devi giggled, covering her mouth with her hand. "What's your verdict?" "I'm more used to saris, but you're the one making any outfit more attractive, not the other way around." Damn! What a... Y'all, he's a smooth talker. Nice. Okay, son. Okay. In general, y'all, I feel like when people give me compliments like this, that they're messing with me. So I'm not really sure how to feel about this. Normally, I'm much more of the tough kind of lover, you know, like this teasing, flirting, like fighting for who's in control. Like, that's more of a relationship I'm into. Like, that's more me. But to be quite honest, if you actually only have like this bickering and flirting relationship with your man, and then he shows up at your doorstep and he's actually saying what Ram just said, you know it's true. Because in general, the only relationship between the two of you is bickering and flirting. So when he actually says something that straightforward to you, then you know it's true. "So you're beautiful as always." Aww. She took his hand and led him toward the armchair. DOOBAY sat down and pulled Devi on his lap. Damn! He said, "No more holding back." The floorboards creaked just outside the door. Devi felt the man's body tense. "Someone is walking around here. Are they hoping to hear some interesting noises?" Devi shushed him. He's like, are they waiting for us to moan? What are they doing? Ram. No, he honest. "Well, it's not like British servants can be eavesdropping on conversations, especially in Bengali." But Christian can. He speaks Bengali. "Especially between a man and a woman left alone. Especially between the Lord's bride and her mysterious friend." Damn. Ram. He chuckled softly. No, you know what? I love it. He enjoyed teasing her kindly, watching her cheeks blush. Me. I mean, I'm not blushing, but I would be Ram. Me too. "It's so amusing when you're both angry and embarrassed. Well, we really should be careful. It's time for me to go." No! Stay! Me! Stay! She relaxed her body as if her weight could somehow prevent him from standing up. That only amused him more, but he understood her silent plea and immediately relented. Got it. And let them listen." Bitch! I need to ask Ram something. Get his side of the story. Let them listen. Besides, I want to know. "I know what you want to ask." Huh? "Ram, how did you know what happened to me?" "I knew it would happen. The Dark Mother pointed you out during the ritual and said that doom was imminent. Arguing with fate is pointless." Look at his face, y'all. How can we all be that bitchy with Ram? He tried everything, y'all. Like I said, maybe I'm a little bit biased. But still, like I said, we're willing to do whatever it takes to protect the people we love. Of course, a lot of pain could have been avoided if he would have allowed us to be killed, but he didn't want us to die. He was hoping for something better for us. He was hoping that maybe sooner or later the goddess would switch to someone else, but she didn't. It was hope and love making this man do what he did back in the day in that temple. I don't blame him. And I actually think it's so cute. He actually also risked his own life because of the fact that he's so closely connected to the Dark Mother. She could have released her wrath towards him, you know? You were destined to die the same day you became the Lord's bride, and the headaches were heralds of events meant to happen. Ram sighed, looking at Devi, and continued, When I tried to save you from the attack, I got a strong headache. My Kali insisted that you wanted me not to interfere before the time. I almost begged her to let me do something. I wanted to help you, and she replied that my time would come. When you died, I got a headache, so severe that I almost went insane, and when I heard the Dark Mother's laughter, I knew it. It was done. I was alone in the temple. I hated myself for doing nothing, knowing that somewhere out here in the square, you had died. You had died, and I knew about it. She actually held him there. What did I say? The first time, she didn't do anything. This time, she actually forced him not to interfere. She actually held him in place. He actually wanted to be by her side as we died. But the Dark Mother thought that if she would allow him to go to us, then he would have the chance to save us from dying again. So she actually used the headaches that he and I, or more like he and Devi, would get every time, or more like once in a while. And as soon as we would touch each other, we would feel better because like our destinies were like connected. She would use the headaches, and it kind of was like connected to our death. As long as we were in the state of dying and we weren't dead yet, Ram would have those huge ass headaches through Mahakali. She would let him have those headaches until we were dead, so that he would be that paralyzed by pain that he wouldn't be capable to think straight, and he wouldn't be capable to do anything, and he wouldn't be capable to save us from dying. Damn. Ram tucked a strand of hair behind his ear with a sharp and nervous movement. And then the Dark Mother came to see me again. She told me what to do and guided me. When I realized that you still had a chance to come back and that I was able to help, I could breathe easier, and I did as my Kali told me to. Rita Shiva helped me. Ratan? He interfered with the order of things. There is no order anymore. But even the chaos happening now is designed by the gods, and they participated in it. However, even Ratan seemed worried then, which is unlike him, so I became concerned too. It's a good thing everything worked out. Have you had headaches since then? No, that was the last time. Ram, how did it all end? I don't know. I didn't really look into it. After what happened, those divisive confrontations didn't seem very important. What about the traitor? Have you heard anything about that? Don't I know something, but he hasn't said anything. He first wants to be sure of it. How did you all end up here? The whole delegation? We refused to send you with him alone. After all, you're not married yet, and you're not the least important person in the dozen. As Vidya said, union comes first. But there are so many of you. The Lord resisted at first, but not for long. They don't want to delay the departure and agreed quickly. Everyone was assigned important roles. For example, I'm here as your spiritual mentor. Well, of course. You and I truly have a lot to figure out, and a lot to discuss. I agree. I have so much more I want to learn from you. And you will later. Don't burden yourself now. It's unnecessary. Besides, I shouldn't stay here long. You know, the servants here seem to love gossiping. Like people anywhere. Devi leaned to the side, resting her cheek against his head. We still have time to go back to different rooms. Don't leave yet. Oh, Ram knew in his heart that she was right, and he didn't want to resist her, although he felt conflicted. Maybe it was not too late to redefine their boundaries. What did I say? He wants me to himself. Period. But did he want that? After what happened, he realized how important it was to cherish every moment they had to live and to let events take their course. She was next to him, right at that moment, cuddling up to him like a cat. Like a cat! We said mine! That's what he had only dared to dream about lately, to still have the opportunity to feel her warmth and the touch of her gentle hands and to hear her ringing laughter. You're right. Of course I am. Davy used her nose to move a loose strand of hair from his face and touched his temple with her lips, gradually moving closer. Ram closed his eyes, his arms tightened around her waist instinctively, pulling her closer. She making him hard. She making him go hard. She's like, let me feel you. Let me give into temptation. Let me feel the desire. Let me allow you to feel me once again. Davy let out a deep sigh which didn't escape his notice. The man felt her warm breath tickle the corner of his mouth. Davy's soft lips trembled as they touched his. She had missed those touches so much. I need him so much. Girl, you do be in the know, and someone could come in at any moment. At this point, I would be on Ram's side. I would be like, girl, don't be doing all of this. Even though I get the temptation, girl. I get it. But like I said, time and place. We do not want to be caught slipping. I missed him so much. I feared I was never going to see him again. He couldn't say out loud what he was feeling either. He didn't know why. Was he afraid of scaring away what they had? He didn't know. He only knew that he was definitely capable of going to great lengths for her. Yes, he was. Even back in the day when we didn't have anything, y'all. Even back in the day. And he was supposed to. Her path was full of thorns, and only he could guide her through it without getting hurt. Davy didn't know how to approach him either. Their agreement was their own curse. Yeah. Who would be the first to find the strength to admit that things didn't go according to plan? Neither of them could do it yet. Ram pulled away gently and took her chin, keeping his gaze on her beautiful eyes framed by long lashes. He softly said in a low voice, I'm sorry I wasn't there while I don't know what you felt, but inside I felt that I was dying with you. He literally lost a part of himself that night. But to be quite honest, the way he said it, no, it was a narration. That said, only Ram is capable to guide Devi through her path, as in through life, without her getting hurt. Because her path is really rocky. It's very difficult. So she will need his help, and aka the mother's guidance, in order not to suffocate on her way to victory or on her way to be a great ruler. So, this actually means they're soulmates. They are meant to be together. Each of them is capable to give something valuable to the other person. They are meant to be. Something stirred in Davy's chest. Silently, she hugged him again, and all she could think was, I know. Ram cares for you very much. I know that. I knew immediately back in the day when I found out that he actually allowed Rati to die. I knew that he truly loves us. I mean, y'all, this actually sounds a little like I'm a psychopath, but like, to be actually willing to commit a great evil, or more like a desperate thing, you taking a desperate situation in order to save someone, that means that you truly love them. You can't allow them to be hurt, even though you know perhaps that sooner or later you won't be capable to do anything about watching them die. They stayed in each other's arms for about 10 more minutes, and Ram said, I really have to go. No, you can't. It won't be so hard to part. David rose from his lap, allowing him to get up. Ram kissed her forehead goodbye and hurried out of her bedroom. Oh. Y'all, the click. Now, where is my other husband? Or my future husband? He opened the door slightly, looked around to make sure no one was there, then slipped into the hallway and left silently. Dear future husband. Where is he? As she found herself alone, Davy looked out the window, twirled for a bit in front of the mirror in her new outfit, and decided to leave the bedroom. It was a mistake to only drink tea and refused any food. Now I'll have to find some myself. There are probably so many rooms here that I won't see them all. Davy left her bedroom and headed down the hallway. It was much colder than it in the room, and Davy shivered. This is not India with its heat. Damn! Now where should I go? Don't be asking me, bitch. Oh god. Walk straight down the hallway, go up the stairs, walk straight and turn right. You know what? Go up the stairs, why not? Go up the stairs, perhaps we'll slash into our soulmate. Or other soulmate. The stairs led to a similar hallway on the floor above. It looks like this wing has guest rooms, or are these the servant quarters? I don't know how things are arranged in such places, but I think the hallways in the main wings are usually much grander and more decorated. David slowly walked along the walls adorned with paintings, stopped at each one to examine it in more detail. Who was depicted there? What place was it? What year was it painted? If there are so many interesting things here, what does the main part of the estate look like? Davy froze in place. It wasn't the artwork that made her stop, but the voices coming from behind one of the doors, one male, the other female. Where is the sound coming from? Davy tiptoed closer and froze so that not a single noise would disrupt her eavesdropping efforts. She listened closely. Bengali? Who among the women here can speak Bengali? Sara, I suppose, if we think of our delegation, but who's the man? Who could be conversing with Saraswati in private? Listen in, because I'm that kind of a bitch. I wonder what they're talking about. That would be me, though. I'm that curious. Davy looked around and leaned as close as possible to the wooden door, ensuring she made no noise that could give away her presence. How ridiculous. My trips to the kitchen always leave me to eavesdrop on other people's conversations. Nothing as scandalous this time, I hope. Davy focused on the voices. Finally, she could somewhat discern what they were saying. And what's that? Ooh! I know the figure. Doran.
At the gathering of the dozen about the fire, we were counting who was injured, dead, or missing among family members and the servants. When we counted the losses among the servants, he said there was injured, but no one was missing except...
Davy couldn't make out whether it was a name or another word.
She objected to him. She said they had already counted everyone, and one was missing. He immediately silenced her, grabbed her by the elbow, and didn't let her finish. Everyone ignored that somehow. But why silence her? I made one missing, so what? Why keep it quiet? She wasn't the only one.
Indeed.
I found it strange. What was special about her?
You killed her. I see. But what are you getting at?
I remember that Miss Sharma was looking for a maid in the Bazu's residence.
Yes! I immediately realized just by reading that. It was the maid that Saraswati killed, yeah.
There seemed to be a problem with her.
This must be the Ereto Doran. It's Doran. I ran into both of them while chasing that maid, and the other voice is Sara, definitely. She's probably nervous right now. Silent, both voices had fallen quiet. Devi felt her heartbeat accelerate. A strange, unpleasant premonition crawled over her skin. Is there even a slight possibility that the maid Sara dealt with is the same one that some members of the Dozen kept quiet about? Of course, that reaction and her disappearance alone aren't enough to draw definite conclusions, but now Sara knows exactly which family to suspect more than the others.
I had the impression that before I ran into her, you were together and that maid wronged you in some way. She heard something she wasn't supposed to. I somehow thought that if that's the one, then your problem is solved.
If it's the one, Sara was the first to know.
What makes you so sure? There are so many mates.
I'm not sure. I'm just speculating. I decided to share it with you, just in case. I'm quite observant, after all. I think the maid may have run into someone and bore the burn of their anger.
The man chuckled softly. Sara, by the sound of it, was not amused. She killed her. Doran, it's definitely him. Of course I know my man. Hold on.
I can barely hear anything. And who said that? Remind me again.
Lean closer. Davy leaned forward, and the old oak floorboards creaked treacherously under her foot. The voices fell silent briefly. I fucking hate it. Oh, that's fine. Davy froze, afraid to take another breath or make any sound. The man said a surname.
Prasad.
She immediately stepped away from the door and backed away. Prasad, Mohan Prasad, the one who groveled before Vidya. Interesting. I've heard enough. It's time to leave before someone slams the door in my face. You have learned important information. Debbie hurried away. She went down the stairs and wandered again in a new direction far from that place. She was still trying to digest what she had heard. As far as I remember, Mohan's wife died in the fire and his family was affected. On the other hand, he didn't seem to like the idea of me marrying the Lord, nor Vidya's plans. Something doesn't add up here. Or maybe he could have sent a servant in order to blackmail her. Would he have forced Vidya to take his opinion into consideration in exchange for keeping Radha's pregnancy a secret? Unlikely, of course. And even if we assume this, why? What is his purpose? Maybe he serves someone himself? I wonder whose name Christian will mention. After a while, Devi reached a hall from which it was theoretically possible to go to the other wing. A rather elderly woman was walking toward her, reading some notes read as she walked, holding her pince nez between her thumb and forefinger. Is this his mother? She was dressed in the British style, not luxurious, but not shabby either. She had a bunch of keys hanging from her belt. If she's some other guest of the Lord, or worse, a relative, I don't want to have any conversations. David tried to change direction to avoid being noticed. Walk past along the hall? The acoustics in the hallway were a little too good, and the clatter of Devi's heels against the tiles didn't go unnoticed. The woman flinched in surprise, nearly dropping her glasses, and looked up from her papers directly. Devi, I got caught. She held her pince nez up to her eyes to get a better look at Devi. When she recognized her, she immediately started fuzzing and speaking enthusiastically in English.
Miss Sharma, is that you? My goodness. Good afternoon, Miss Sharma. How are you feeling? Are you looking for someone? How can I help you?
The woman was obviously already aware of her awakening. Good afternoon. Excuse me, how should I address you?
My name is Miss Butler. Miss, I'm Lord de Clare's housekeeper. So what did you need? Are you feeling unwell?
Everything is fine, thank you. Lord de Clare and I had tea, but now I'd like to have something to eat. I'm afraid I won't last until dinner.
Oh, I know. You can't last on just tea until evening. Of course, miss. We'll do everything as you wish. Your young system needs to recover.
Also, I'd like to see my pet.
The tiger, of course. We'll bring him. Everything will be served in the drawing room. Follow me, please.
David noticed briefly and followed the woman who had already started to hurry away. On the way, Mrs. Butler asked her,
Have you been to England before, miss?
Saying nothing, answered directly. I've only traveled within India, and honestly, I didn't plan to come here so soon. And from my room here, I haven't seen much yet. The woman, giving her a glance, nodded understandingly in response.
Of course. I hope you'll enjoy it here.
There was something in that response that made Devi feel out of place, and she had a hunch about what that was. Marrying the Lord would make Devi the mistress of the place, and that woman and others would have to obey her. Her, an Indian woman. Did they consider her an unculturated savage who didn't deserve to be treated like a human being? Most likely. Surely all this politeness must be fake. For them, obeying someone like me and smiling oblongly must be unusual and even humiliating. But even if it is, they'll have to endure it. After walking Devi to the right room, the housekeeper closed the massive doors behind her and left the young woman alone. The drawing room was spacious and bright thanks to the large windows. Devi walked over to the sofa and sat down, looking around. It's so impersonal? Conservative? The interior decorations must have been chosen according to local traditions and preferences. Pretty nice. It's cute. She surveyed the furniture, which looked almost new. The soft velvet upholstery of the sofa hadn't worn out at all. This drawing room looks like it's surely used for its intended purpose. It's sad if that's true. She didn't have to wait long. After a while, several servants entered the drawing room with trays in their hands and served her afternoon tea. They set up a teapot, a milk jug, ramekin with various jams and thick cream, a cake stand with treats, and a sugar bowl. Damn! The tea had a pleasant aroma of bergamot, and after pouring it into what looked like expensive porcelain, the servants hurried away so as not to disturb the Lord's bride enjoying her long-awaited meal. Where is he? Where is Lord de Clare? I want to see this bitch. One extra cup won't hurt. Let's see. Ooh. Y'all, I can't. It looks... you know what? Let's go with this. It kind of reminds me of an Italian sweet. After tasting it properly, Davy thought to herself, this food pleasantly surprised me. It's unusual for me, but not bad. I usually avoided British food in India, but maybe I was wrong. It's never too late to try something new. Freedom! After finishing her meal, Davy relaxed against the back of the sofa. Now we're talking. Suddenly she heard a noise. The doors creaked and cracked open, and Amrit appeared in the doorway. The animal entered the drawing room with a graceful stride, and upon smelling his owner, headed straight for her. Oh, my child! Bath of Passion. Hey there, my darling. How have you been here without me? Good boy. Oh, cute. The tiger leaped to her, licked her face, and lay on his back, inviting Davy to scratch his belly. They've been feeding you well, haven't they? Oh, cute. Oi, Erit.
Davia?
Erit? Oh, It's okay, honey. I didn't see you come in. Hello. Erit closed the doors behind him and walked softly, almost silently into the drawing room, sinking into the armchair opposite Davy, crossing one leg over the other.
Welcome back, precious miss.
He not amused. What's wrong, baby? Amrit settled at his feet of his mistress, grunting the guest who had interrupted their reunion. He not having it. He possessive. Edith glanced at the table with the tea set and remnants of food. Narrowing his eyes, he smiled and said,
So you're getting the hang of this? That's right.
Help yourself if you want. Don't just stare.
I'll pass, thank you. How are you feeling?
Honestly, my muscles ache, but I'm moving a little, walking around. My body has forgotten even the slightest movements, but overall, I feel alright. It'll get better with time, I hope.
It will.
But enough about me. How are you?
I've nothing to complain about. I'm glad to see you alive and well, by the way.
Devi raised her eyebrows in surprise. I wouldn't call it well. I almost died. You did die.
I know, we all thought so. I was really worried, to be honest.
Oh, Erit.
I'm from a Bram family, after all. I heard her voice at that night. I immediately thought something was wrong. The idea of the continuation of the cycle.
You too? I thought only the DOOBAY family had such a strong connection with the goddess. He shook his head.
Not as strong, but it's there. That's why I decided that I definitely needed to come here with everyone else.
That's why? Is it because of me, really? Or does he have some other reason? It's kind of suspicious. Let's start up a conversation. Maybe he'll tell me something interesting. How did you find me here? Yeah.
I heard rumors about your awakening from the servants, so I decided to check for myself. Have you met anyone else of our people yet?
Yes, I've met and talked to some.
That's great. Ram was really worried about you.
I know. This man knows he ain't stupid. He's like, I see something here. Yeah. How did you think of this place? What do you think of this place?
The view outside is nice, nature's beautiful anywhere. Though I haven't seen much yet, but this house. Many rooms have drafts and impossible to sleep without a blanket. When it rains, the air becomes damp and unpleasant. I can see now why the general decided to go far from here. I'd have done the same too if I were here.
How's a dozen doing?
Have you heard already? Are you up to date on everything?
I don't really know exactly what happened and how bad things are. That's why I'm worried. Eric clenched his jaw and began to move his dangling foot nervously. Then he said abruptly,
Do you want to know?
The premium choice? Ooh, I do. Will you tell me in detail, bitch? In detail. Don't leave anything out. I want to hear everything vividly.
Vividly would be an understatement.
Eric took a deep breath and began his story. Uh-oh. All the members of the dozen were gathered at the Bazoo's estate at Vidya's invitation. When everyone finally assembled in the meeting hall, Vidya began her speech.
Good afternoon, estimate families of the dozen. I've gathered you all here today to address and possibly resolve the issue that has been itching like a splinter under our skin all these years. This doesn't bode well.
The attack on the Dozen during the festival dedicated that our goddess Durga was the last straw. A straw that will no longer be used to break our back, I hope. I have questions that I want to raise in front of everyone. I think it's only fair. You can ask questions too if you want.
A murmur swept through the hall. The heads of the families looked tense. What was the purpose of all that?
My first question, Rash, tell me, why did you move the ritual from the Kali Ghat? I'm not the only one who found that decision strange, am I right?
The crowd started whispering loudly again.
Vidya, you didn't warn me about any of this. We could have discussed everything in private. Did you warn me?
Please answer.
Rash immediately got up from his seat. Amrita tried to hold him back by his sleeve but couldn't.
Is there some kind of public interrogation? What's going on? I'll tell you. I have nothing to hide. The Kali Ghat was guarded by the British as it's our main temple. It was impossible to meet there, so I chose the safest and most convenient option. That's all. All families were informed of this on the day of the puja. I have nothing else to say.
All right.
Your brother was in another room with Devya during the attack. Why? That was the reason why she got slandered and almost killed.
Oh, hell no! All this drama!
This has absolutely nothing to do with it. Questions should be asked to those who slandered her, not to Rash and me. Let me speak, sister. Kamal and I found them immediately, and Ram defended Devi just as much as we did. I doubt he intended to harm in any way. I can confirm that.
Everyone was silent. As the atmosphere grew more uncomfortable, no one liked where that conversation seemed to be headed.
Where are you going with this? Enough with the riddles. Speak directly, since we're all gathered here. I'll have time for that. The attack could have happened at the Kali Ghat or any other temple. It doesn't matter at all. Did you gather all of here just to sow the seeds of doubt toward my family among the Dozen? I don't see any other reason.
Kamal tried to defuse the situation by speaking in defense of the seer. He understood all of Vidya's manipulation and wanted to keep a level head to avoid a scandal in front of the families who were not as important in the Dozen's hierarchy. They could discuss anything with Vidya personally, but not here, not in front of everyone.
Both DOOBAYs helped save Divya. That's why I know personally. We can't turn a blind eye to that. Vidya, despite all my respect and trust for you.
I want to say something as well. Rash's young bride spoke up, and predatory smile played on Vidya's lips. Little Amrita was showing her claws.
Amrita!
Shush, silence.
Don't interrupt me. Rash is a man of honor. He would never do anything that could harm all of us. And everything he does has been and is still for the good of the Dozen.
Oh, Radha, haha.
How sweet, thank you, Amrita. Overheard Manja Banerjee gossiping with the daughter of the late Dixit. Maniat.
I think Vidya has taken on too much, even for someone in power.
I agree.
How do we know she didn't organize the attack?
Damn, not blaming her.
First the massacre happened, and now she called us all here to blame the DOOBAYs.
I agree, and her daughter Saraswati disappeared right when the temple was being attacked. The lioness are behind everything.
Unfortunately, I wasn't the only one who heard that.
Anyone can roar from a distance?
Ooh!
Didn't your father pay for saying such a thing, Dixit? You better keep your mouth shut before your tongue gets cut off.
Ooh?
Maybe he died telling the truth, and Devi Sharma isn't with you, trying to get rid of her uncle with Vidya's blessing.
Sara was about to lunge at her window and slammed his fist on the table menacingly, forcing his niece to stay where she was, and both youngish women shut up.
Hold your tongue, both of you. Miss Banerjee didn't calm down, continued to whisper to those sitting nearby until Rash and Vidya stepped aside and decided to talk privately after all.
Maybe it's time for us to finally do something. We've been avoiding each other for 5 years, and look where it's gotten us.
Miss Banerjee, it's not the best time for that now.
How so, Kamal? If not now, then when?
I couldn't help but try to calm her down. Let's talk. Let's take a step back. We might end up saying something that we regret. I shouldn't have. Maybe Taku is also plotting with Vidya. Getting tired of playing second fiddle, huh, at it? You decided to rise up the ladder thanks to the lioness.
Oh, hell no.
I believe I might see ya. Remember where you are. I'll throw you out of here right now without batting an eyelid.
Doran nodded toward the window. He said through the window, not through the door.
I don't even bother to respond to that nonsense, but unfortunately, the exclamations growing louder reached Mrs. Basil. What are you always whispering about? Why don't you share? Immediately, everyone went wild, blaming each other and voicing all the resentment and grievances they had accumulated over the past 5 years. That shouting match continued for over an hour. They came to no sensible conclusion and only managed to fight even more and get tangled up in all sorts of accusations.
Well, shit. Wow.
Anyway, there was an open confrontation. Where will all that lead? I don't know. And this trip here, there was some debate about that too, but it wasn't too hard to negotiate with Declare. So, what do you think about all this, the Dawson's conflict?
Stay neutral, condemn the unrest. To be honest, I'm not getting in the middle of this. I'm staying neutral. It's hard to say considering I only know about the situation superficially from your words. The second attack frightened everyone even more, and fear loosened some tongues and allowed people to speak out about what they were afraid to say out loud before. That's understandable. On the other hand, I believe it's still not a good reason to let emotions take over in such a situation and escalate everything to open conflict.
Maybe the crisis will allow us all to move forward from this standstill.
Edith got up from his seat, walked around the furniture and to the side. Amrit watched him.
Dark times are coming, but I'm immediately curious to see where all this will lead.
Look at you, you seem excited.
Of course, we're destined to write history, so we have to be ready for it. If I were you, I would use my brain here wisely. Try to take a break from all these complications. We'll have time to get into it.
A small, encouraging smile appeared on his lips. Davy hadn't seen him smile like that in a while.
I must go, but it was good to see you.
For me too. Thank you for the conversation, Edith. I'll see you later. Edith turned to the door and left the drawing room with a slight bow, leaving Davy to her own thoughts. Maybe it's for the best that we're far away from that right now. This is also difficult. After this conversation, I feel like I need a breath of fresh air. Davy turned her head towards the sunlight. Can I manage to open that window? She got up to walk towards the window, but she could barely take a couple of steps when... What? A sharp pain pierced her left eye. Davy almost lost her balance. Amrit sprang to her side and supported her with his body. Amrit! Is it happening again? She expected to hear her guiding voice, but there was silence, both in her mind and in the room. No sign of her presence. Just a brief physical reminder of why she returned to that world. Why she had gone through that whole journey. Not for worrying about worldly nonsense and other small matters, Davy remembered. God damn. Y'all, I would hate to be her. I would hate to be her. Like I'm actually trapped. You, as the goddess, are forcing me to give up on everything and everyone I love just in order for me to carry out your plans. Could not be me. I would hate that. Let me live my own fucking life. You had me die so that I could become the woman that you wanted me to be back in the day. You already wanted my life, the right that I have to live my own life. You wanted to take that away from me already 5 years ago. Are you kidding me? I feel a desperation coming. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video with me. Tell me in the comments below what you think was best, and I will see you in another video. Bye.